Hello, Gaias. So we're headed into the holidays, and what if you could know that you were actually wired for connection? This is Dr. Melanie Carlone, and I am fascinated by the somatic science and what we can do to bring more lightness and joy into our lives. And it's so possible no matter what your state is, how much pain or difficulty you've had. So listen in. What if you're healing in your community and in your tough family sometimes? What if it could begin with a single exhale disguised as laughter, kind laughter? And what if fear, when it rises in you, isn't actually the enemy, but it's a loyal messenger letting you know to pay attention? And what if your nervous system is actually designed to regulate, to give you opportunities to be in the present moment and regulate through connection with yourself first and then with others? Well, today I want to explore one of the most beautiful truths about being human. Your body is literally wired for connection and laughter and fear. Story, laughter, fear are your three greatest somatic teachers, and you can actually use them to get back into balance with yourself. So let's talk first about the somatic aspect of laughter. When we laugh, and maybe you've even heard of yoga, laughing yoga, there's a fascinating science behind it, because when you laugh, even a fake laugh or a forced laugh, you're just starting to try to laugh, something remarkable happens in your body. Your diaphragm contracts rhythmically, abdominal muscles soften and release as the diaphragm works, and your lungs fill over and again with fresh waves of oxygen pumping. This instantly starts to change your body chemistry. I mean, it just makes sense, right? But did you know your endorphins, those feel-good hormones that you create in your body, they start to rise from that physical action? And cortisol, the stress hormone that brings anxiety and makes us hyper alert, it just starts to go down. And the vagus nerve, for a whole bunch of reasons, starts to activate and become more regulated. Your parasympathetic system, that rest, restore, and relax part of your body says, hey, safe enough to soften. So this is why even a pretend laugh works. The primitive part of your brain, the midbrain, the survival brain, right underneath the cortex, which is our newer brain, that primitive part of our brain really can't distinguish real from fake when the motor pattern, when the movement pattern is the same. Now this is super cool because you can use your body's tool, the vessel of your body, responding to movement and rhythm and breath to actually lead into a more desirable state. So laughter is essentially a series of quick exhalations. It's a patterned diaphragm release that shakes loose tension and tells your nervous system, hey, we're safe enough to play. We're safe enough to breathe. And spiritually, which is the layer of meaning and connection that we have to this incredible mystery of life, whatever you want to call it, laughter drops you back into the great cosmic joke. I mean, think about it. Life is absurd. It's like, you couldn't make this stuff up. And yes, it's painful and difficult, but it's also beautiful and ridiculous. And somehow we're here to feel all of it. So even fake laughter starts to open the door. The body starts the dance and the spirit says, let me in. But here's the pivot. If laughter softens us, fear contracts us. So it's a teacher, and it's a teacher that sits very close by. Let's think about that. How does fear actually hijack your body and take you away in a direction where you're like, I don't want to go there? Well, fear gets the keys to the bus long before logic wakes up. I always say you don't want to give the 3-year-old the key to the minibus and let them be doing the drive, and they can't even see over the driver's seat. But yet often that's what fear does. It hijacks us. So you see a fearful headline. If you're still watching the news, shut that stuff off. Start to find the stuff that's happening good, but that's a whole nother video. Okay, so you see a fearful headline, a sudden movement out of the corner of your eye, a car swerving towards you, and before you even think, that primitive brain fires. The amygdala kicks in, the sympathetic system starts to jump adrenaline, your action hormone that kicks into your body. Your diaphragm tightens and narrows, ready to push, higher breathing. using your scaling muscles, the vision becomes pinpoint and very narrow. Muscles grip, and the vagus nerve moving through the body shifts into protection mode. All of this in preparation, sometimes very useful if you have to act quickly, but then we should have ways to let that go, and we've forgotten about that. When nothing is actually happening to you except your mother says that comment again and your sister notices your hair or whatever it is, the turkey didn't come out right, when nothing is actually happening but your body experiences an echo of danger, that's what creates the background hum that so many of us are living in today. There's hypervigilance, there's chest tensions, shortness of breath, you can't really breathe, you don't know why. Panic attacks start to come up. There's difficulty, your mind's racing, you can't just stay with what's here. And you're asking yourself, why am I anxious? Nothing is wrong. That's because the fear physiology activates in milliseconds, and it never fully completes unless you know how to interrupt that loop. And we used to know this. This is ancient knowledge in our bodies. So that's what I am about. How do you co-regulate when the teacher of fear comes up? How do you co-regulate with it? So that's where today's somatic reset comes in. So let's go there. Let's talk about going from fear into flow. And this is like a guided nervous system response, but just bring it in. Hold it in that little record player in your head. I'm dating myself. Record player in your head that you can just keep hearing over and again. So take a moment. Let your eyes widen gently and then soften. Not staring, just soft. Soften your focus, your gaze, and let your jaw sink down. You can even put your hands here and just very lightly feel the unclenching. Now slowly let your eyes go to one side and turn your head. Let your eyes go to the other side. Keep breathing, turn your head. Become aware of the breath, letting it go into the low back. Eyes to the side. Head follows. Breathe in the low back. Eyes to the side. Head follows. And just notice already what happens as you start to do this gentle flow. Eyes first. Breathing low back. Head follows. And try to make the eye movements smooth, which is hard to do. This is shifting you out of a tunnel vision and back into panoramic vision, which is a direct stimulation to the vagus nerve to go, hey, chill, it's softened. Okay, don't get dizzy, but if you're comfortable to keep doing it, do it. If you want to stop, stop, but I want you to now work on the exhale. So this is another thing that you can bring in. Try this breath. Inhale for the count of 4. Hold for a count of 4. Exhale for a count of 6 to 8. And hold again for 4. Okay, so breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in again. So you can visualize this like interesting shape. And if it feels like too much, just lengthen your exhale. Keep belly soft, ribs soft. Controlling and being present to your breathing is a really sweet way to start to get back into your body's awareness in the present moment. But don't make it hard and don't get short of breath. But know that if you practice this, it actually gets easier and your breathing becomes more regulated. Because long exhalations activate the parasympathetic vagus nerve. It tells your body, hey, we're okay. Nothing's wrong here. That is a powerful practice to take in. Okay, another one. You're at the table, or you're on a holiday office party, and you can feel that familiar tightening. Just casually, one hand on your chest, and one hand on your solar plexus, right under your ribs. And breathe into the low back ribs. Feel the filling behind you, sideways and backwards. So with your hands on your chest, over your heart and your solar plexus, feel the hands rise and fall. And for this moment, Gratitude. You are being breathed. You didn't have to do anything. You were given the gift of life and breath. And let gratitude come in. Bring in this moment of touching and feeling inside yourself a sense of your own internal world, and bring thanks to it. This has a more profound effect than you can even imagine. Now, another cool one. Micro movements, tremoring. This one may be best done in the car when you're by yourself, or when you wake up in the morning, if your partner's not going to get freaked out. So, you just start to shake. Let your shoulders shake. Let your hands flutter. Let your thighs tremor. Just shake like an animal completing a stress cycle. Get that shake in there. Maybe sometimes you've noticed after a stretch, you get that little shake. There's a reason for that. It's an energy discharge. That's hard to say. An energy discharge. Tremoring releases sympathetic activation. It moves you out of a freeze frame. So, or when there's been running and exertion, it lets go of the hormones that have caused that upregulation. If those things linger, they become loops to keep it going. Shake it off. There's a reason for dancing. There's a reason for shaking. So if you can bring movement, if you can bring kind of tremoring, if you can bring dance into your holiday season, do it. All right. Another co-regulation you can use is to just be aware of the environment with beauty and gratitude. So bring that inner sense of wanting to find or be present to something beautiful or neutral in your space. It could be a plant. You know, I have all these beautiful crystals. I have so much beauty around me. Just something that you can find that's just beautiful. Let your eyes land on it and bring an inner smile. Wow, that is amazing. Just for a moment. Let that thing come into your side gaze. Let a smile come to your face and mean it. Stay with it 20 seconds. Seems so simple, but it really works. Your visual system is one of the most powerful regulators in your body. Soft gaze, gaze over to the side. That ventral part of your vagus nerve system, the one that you really want to tickle and keep alive, that equals safety, is a beautiful way to bring it in. All right. So we just did some very cool hacks, some very cool opportunities to bring your body back into alignment and bring the smile and the joy back in. Now that you're feeling more open, here's a deeper layer to think about. We're actually designed to regulate through attunement, through that feeling of being seen and seeing someone seeing us, knowing enoughness, through participating in groups, in stories, in presence, in being witnessed. So when you allow yourself the richness of leaning into somebody sharing their story or sharing their truth, your mirror neurons fire. That's the part of your forebrain that allows you to attune. You can feel what they're feeling. You allow yourself to be deeply present to them, not in your own inner, but in your ability to be present to them. Your breath actually sinks. Your heart rate starts to become entrained with the heart rate of others. Your micro muscles echo their emotional state. It's an amazing thing, but here's the miracle. Your nervous system doesn't just mirror the pain, it mirrors the safety around the pain. So if someone weeps, pause before you try to comfort or stop them. Notice that's usually your discomfort. If someone's in sadness and you hold them in soft eyes, steady breath, and open posture to receive, your own nervous system encodes not just the sorrow, but it creates the container of safety. And this is why, because group healing, presencing another that deeply, really works. Therapy works, community circles work, men's circles work, friendship works. Laughter in community is like medicine. Grieving with a witness in community releases oxytocin and endorphins. We heal not by feeling less, but by feeling in the presence of safety with others. That is somatic resonance. That is a nervous system to nervous system communication. That's connection biology. It is really cool. So every time you laugh, even a fake laugh, your body learns more safety. Every time you notice the fear and interrupt it, like you would a child who just doesn't understand, interrupt it with orientation to your environment, with breath. You teach the nervous system, I'm here, I'm present. That primitive brain gets the cortical brain to say, I can guide you. Every time you witness somebody and give your compassion, both of your systems reorganize around regulation. Humans aren't wired for self-reliance. They're wired for co-regulation. And I believe when you can understand the somatic beauty, the science behind it, you gain real tools to interrupt that anxiety, interrupt that tendency to freeze and not know what to do. You can dissolve that chronic tension in the body. You expand your emotional capacity, build connections with others. You just feel more alive, more present, and more human. And what is better to bring to your community? And we put a lot of emphasis on the holidays. What is better to bring than your full self, but your full self who's regulating internally, so that you can be that antenna, that vibrational frequency that helps the regulation in the environment. The body's language is really simple. It's breath, it's orientation, it's touch, it's movement, it's presence, and it's that deep felt sense of connection. And you can speak that language at any time. So I hope this practice really helps. Imagine what would happen if not just you, but others built this into your daily rhythm. So do me the great honor of subscribing, hit like, throw a comment in there. I'm really trying to pay attention and answer them. Did laughter and breath or shaking, any of that make sense to you? What helped? What could you feel? And if you want more somatic practices like this, let me know, because I'm really up to building a community of people that can restore flow in their bodies and in their lives. So much love, you guys. Hang in there.